Dinosaurs. You know them? You might love them. What if I told you everything you know about them is probably a lie? Okay, let me explain it. Dinosaurs are one of the most popular animals in media. I mean, there's Jurassic Park, The Land Before Time, and even Dinosaur Train. Okay, forget that last one, but there's still a lot of dinosaur media. But in this media, dinosaurs are almost always portrayed wrongly. In this video, I'll go over what dinosaurs are really like, how we know this, how dinosaurs were wrongly portrayed in the past, the scientific part of things, and what happened to them. First off, a lot of dinosaurs were feathered. Recent discoveries in the fossils of dinosaurs have shown places where feathers could have come out of. Take a velociraptor, for example. This towering, ferocious killer, right? Wrong. They were actually very small, like the size of a turkey, and were covered in feathers. In another case, we have the T-Rex. Early depictions of it showed a lean and upright predator in a kangaroo-like stance. Then, scientists discovered by looking at it further that standing upright would cause too much pressure on it, and eventually concluded that they would stand more tilted. Then they found some rib bones, and eventually found out that they would flow below their main rib cage like a crocodile's. So they were actually much fatter than you thought, and definitely not like in Jurassic Park. Okay, so we know all of this about them. But how? Real life me, take it away. Okay, so behind me is a fossil. Fossils are formed when something dies and the bones get buried under layers upon layers of sediment. Then it gets slowly turned into a mineral and basically becomes a bunch of rocks. Now, you dig up a bunch of fossils and put them together. That's the fossil record, where a bunch of scientists collaborate and find out about extinct or ancient animals. To put it more simply, it's a giant, never-ending puzzle, and the pieces are scattered all across the globe. I would not want to put that together. In these bones, we can look at the joints and figure out how they moved and stood. Like here, we know the Brontosaurus stood on 4 legs and had a neck similar to a giraffe just by its bone structure. Then you can also find out if they were carnivores or herbivores. Carnivores have sharp, pointy teeth to tear through flesh, like a dog, and herbivores have flat teeth to eat plants, like a horse. Back to the studio. Okay, all great information, just one question. How do we know about all the feathers and skin and all that junk? Well, let me tell you. Luck and a lot of digging. One example is in 1999, paleontologist Tyler Lyson found an Edmontosaurus. But what made it special is that it had all of its bones intact, and some tissue. This led to the discovery that some dinosaurs had feathers, some had hair, and some were even colored fur. Now, over time, we've had more discoveries about them. Let's go back to how it was. Back in the olden days, they recreated skeletons like this. It's called shrink wrapping. But it had many problems. They ignored all the muscle, fat, and just put skin and bone. For example, look at this modern animal recreated like they did dinosaurs. Can you guess what it is? It's a hippopotamus. Using cells, no, not that type of cell, and then figured out what was on the dinosaurs, like pigment, and added more fat and muscle, and got what we have today. So Jurassic Park would be more realistically like this. Insane, right? Okay, now we get to the history and science part of things and how the dinosaurs died. First off, dinosaurs lived a lot closer ago than you think, and we actually share a common ancestor with them. Let's go down the family tree, shall we? Okay, so your great, skip a few, great-grandpa was this weird-looking thing. It's called a tetrapod. Crawled on land millions of years ago, and pretty much all lizards, birds, dinosaurs, and mammals all descended from these little guys. That doesn't mean all of its prehistoric descendants are dinosaurs. Things like pterosaurs, plesiosaurs, and mosasaurs are not dinosaurs. They also lived at the same time, but belonged to a different group of reptiles. Crocodiles also lived back then, but like the previously mentioned, they are not dinosaurs because they branched off a bit before the dinosaurs did. So everything from this point onwards is a dinosaur. Makes sense, right? But then we zoom in and see, wait, birds? That's right, folks. Birds are not only close relatives, but technically by definition are in fact dinosaurs. So that means dinosaur chicken nuggets are the most scientifically accurate nuggets. Also, dinosaurs lived for a very long time. This is all of human history, about 200,000 years. This is when we diverged from apes. This is the years after extinction, and this is the 180 million years of dinosaurs. To put that in perspective, we live closer to a T-Rex than a T-Rex lived to a Stegosaurus. Littlefoot's bizarre adventures couldn't have actually happened. Sad. So we know how they lived, when they lived, what they looked like, and how did they die. Well, Fred Flintstone made too many Brontosaurus burgers, obviously. Just kidding. It really happened that deep in space, there was an asteroid bigger than Mount Everest, and it was hurtling towards Earth at about 15 miles per second. It slammed into Earth and sent a giant fire shockwave and sent chunks flying everywhere. Like a nuke, but worse. Most of the dinosaurs in the Americas died off instantly. But for the ones left over, it was a slow and painful death. The offshoot from the asteroid shrouded the planet in darkness, which caused most of the plant life to die. This caused the herbivores to die because they had nothing to eat, and the carnivores either died of starvation or just killed each other. Everything on the surface died, and the only animals that survived were the small ones or the underwater ones, who were below the surface. Just imagine if that asteroid had missed. Nothing would be the same, and none of us would be here today. The more I think about it, the more I realize how complicated dinosaurs were. They were living, breathing creatures, and not these tyrant kings who see them as. So now you know all that I can tell you about dinosaurs and how amazing they were. Signing out until next time.